athletics. But for George Washington, they're a program that had their first season. They had their pause due to the postponements, the COVID scares, the canceled games. And so here, this is a new team, their new season, their third season of the year. If you have Jennifer Rosati, their head coach, kind of preaching that to her athletes before this matchup.
Well, George Washington starts with possession. Loader feeds it to Brigham at the circle. Spiders start man-to-man early on here. Off on the wing to Loader. And 10 seconds to shoot for the Colonials, and Loader looks confused by the offensive set. Get that pass off to Luma. Down inside to Brigham with a shot clock expiring. She'll bank it in to give GW the early lead on a long possession there. Allie Brigham's first two.
And a nice little fingertip save underneath, ball almost trying to go out of bounds, but freshman from Franklin, Massachusetts, able to keep a handle and get the first points on the board.
Ball still loose on the floor, and eventually Whitney comes up with it. Whitney knocked it free to begin with. Her 63 steals lead the Atlantic 10. I think Allie Brigham eventually came up with it. Spiders get it on the alternate possession arrow, but right away Jasmine Whitney putting some pressure on the basketball and showing why she has been the steals leader this season. Here's Alex Parson. Off to Klimkowitz, and the Spiders work on the offensive set now. Two teams met earlier this year. Richmond won both meetings, 47-42 and 60-49. Klimkowitz in the lane. Rattles out, and the rebound to Luma. This George Washington team, though, is 5-1 in its last 6 games. So it might be a little bit different look that Richmond faces. Here's a pass nearly stolen.
One of the biggest differences is having Maiwa Taiwo back in the lineup for George Washington. Head coach Jennifer Rosati talking about how having her back is so important because the team is just better when she's able to be out there on the floor recovering from an ankle injury.
And on cue, Taiwo scores. Makes it 4-0, George Washington in front.
So she started the last 6 games, coming back, healing 100% from her ankle injury. So she wasn't in those games against Richmond in the losses.
There's Chapman on the perimeter to Parson, trying to get a lane to the bucket, cut off, finds Holt. Holt can't find anywhere to go with it with 7 to shoot. And the Spiders end up turning it over. Now, George Washington defensively really gearing up these last few games here, and Richmond may be looking at a different look than what they saw earlier. Looks like Holt got called with a foul there on that play. Here's Whitney out front. Up to Loader. Finds Brigham at the circle. Brigham part of the all-rookie team. Posting up inside. Chapman knocks it free. And eventually Addie Budnick, another member of the all-rookie team and the conference rookie of the year, comes up with it. Here comes Parson to the front court. Trying to get to Budnick. Ball's knocked away and stolen by Whitney again. Whitney, the grad student from Gainesville, Virginia, up there in northern Virginia a little bit. Not far from George Washington. Oh, a 4-0 start. Here's a jumper from Brigham at the circle. And as Budnick boxes out, you'll get a whistle and a foul on Nyla Luma, her first. Look at the Spider bench, and Aaron Roussel in his second year as Spider head coach has Richmond at 12-8 and 9-6. Tremendous success at Bucknell before coming to coach the Spiders. Claire Holt drives, switches hands, and lays it in.
Strong finish, and speaking of Bucknell, brought his whole coaching staff with him as well to Richmond.
A coaching staff that has VCU ties, by the way, as we are in this building, home of the Rams. Brittany Pinckney played for VCU. Here's a Parson rebound. So some of the staff have ties, as here's the drive. Kick back out for a Chapman 3 up front. And it's good for Elena Chapman. 21% shooter behind the arc, but nails that one.
Yeah, all day long, too, to get her position set, get her feet set before releasing the shot.
If you want one more tie to VCU through this, the three-pointer at the other end is good from Jasmine Whitney. Aaron Russell's wife used to be the basketball director of operations here at VCU.
There you go. So they're right at home. Not far from home either. Obviously, game being played here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but the Spiders, even though they're from Richmond and they're just a couple miles down the street, they're all staying in a hotel. So it gets you into that championship mindset, isolates the outside world, also protects you from potential COVID exposures. Of course, a lot of different factors, especially this season, going into that choice.
GW solid defensively. Here's Luma's jumper, good again, and now GW is up 9-5 here as Luma scores. Parson to drive with a high bank shot, knocked away out of bounds. And last touched by GW. Substitutions now. Here comes Anaya Carpenter and Grace Townsend, the spark plug off the Richmond bench. Gabby Nickerkania, I knew I was going to mess that up. I had it right to start with. Nickerkania
there we go.
Checked in. I did the GW game earlier this year when they played Richmond, but still don't have it right. Cross-court pass to Carpenter. Here goes Townsend off the dribble, kicks to Budnick. 5 to shoot, finds Townsend open, and that rattles out. And rebound. Nickerkania pulls it down.
Well, you just saw freshman to freshman, a lot of underclassmen getting playing time for the Spiders. It's a big impact freshman.
Here's Brigham down in the posts, and her shot won't go down. The rebound to Chapman. As you watch Townsend play, she has the ball in her hand now. Remember that she, too, is a walk-on, and might be one of the better walk-ons you'll see throughout the course of this season. She's gotten a lot of minutes. Here's Budnick through the lane, and a foul coming up on Brigham here. That'll be the first on the 6'4" freshman from Franklin, Massachusetts. A couple of all-rookie team members going at it, including the conference rookie of the year. Going to the line for 2 shots. A freshman out of Highland Park, Illinois. And her first shot is good. She has been a big impactful player for the Spiders here, averaging 11.8 points per game and 5 rebounds. And Budnick quickly knocks down 2 from the line, shooting 87% entering today's play. And Richmond will pick up full court a little bit here with a 9-7 Colonials advantage. Luma takes it back, near side pass to Whitney. And now the Spiders drop into a zone. Long jumper out front off the iron. Rebound inside. The follow's not good. And there's Emma Squires with a Richmond rebound. As Brown could not connect. Klimkowitz on the wing. Fires to Squires, who will drive. Got cut off. Kick it out to Carpenter. Squires from the wing. Deep three-pointer is good. Emma Squires, the junior out of Kingston, Mass, nailing one there. Now, if she gives you something, if you're Richmond, it's a bonus. Fighting injuries throughout her career. Spiders trap here with a 10-9 lead. Corner jumper won't go down as Loader misses. But the Colonials have the rebound.
For Emma Squires, this is just her 9th game played of this season.
She has battled injuries throughout her Richmond career. Nickerkania inside and got that one to crawl over the rim for her first basket. At the other end, Budnick follows with an inside shot. That's 4 for Budnick. And the Spider 1-point advantage, and they'll still put a little bit of pressure on here. Just trying to disrupt that GW offense a little bit.
Trying to slow down the progression up court.
Drop back to a zone here. Klimkowitz goes after a steal, comes up with it, drives in. Got one off the glass for 2 for Kate Klimkowitz. She had 32 steals this year, which is 5th in the conference. Here's the trap. And now Whitney will try to settle everything down. Nickerkania will help as well. Jumper from Loader at the elbow is no good. That's actually faced Blevin, As Blevin on the mid-post. Now back near side to Whitney. Blethyn finds another possession. Luma with 5 to shoot. And Budnick on the box out. We'll pick up another foul on George Washington here. Here's the Klimkowitz steal a moment ago.
In speed, in transition, goes full force. Just had one to beat. Nice composure.
Klimkowitz has been a big addition to the Richmond program, a transfer from Boston College. Townsend is bumped around the screen. And Blethyn picks up the foul. So Blethyn, first personal on here, already 4 on George Washington. Now the Spider lead is 3 as Townsend works out front, but the pass is errant. Inside Brigham. And Klimkowitz knocked it away. Brigham turned, and the 6'4" freshman shooting over the 5'5" freshman there, Grace Townsend.
I'm going to say slight height advantage.
There's Jen Rosati, the head coach of the George Washington Colonials, an outstanding collegiate player in her own right for UConn. Pass is intercepted by Squires, but the outlet bobbled. And George Washington keeps possession here as the first quarter winds down. Brigham in the post against Budnick. Budnick got a piece of it, and on the box out, Brigham comes over top, and that may be 2 fouls now on Allie Brigham early. And Addie Budnick, who had 60 blocks this year to lead the Atlantic 10, showing some defensive prowess there. And that's the 5th team foul this quarter with 58 seconds left on George Washington.
Robert, that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Addie Budnick against Allie Brigham in this game. Both of them freshmen of really strong, tall presence.
2 fouls on Brigham now, and Jen Rosati pleading her case. How about that second foul early? Brian Burnett, the official on the other side there. Geraldine Smith, Jennifer Washoe also working today's game, or tonight's game, if you will. Budnick connects. And Richmond's lead is 16-11 now. As Budnick has 6 points in the contest.
Richmond with the higher press.
Nika Kanaite feeds it down inside. And nice move in the paint there by Taiwo. Myla Taiwo scores. That's 4 for her. GW is 6-1 against Atlantic 10 opponents when she's been on the floor, but Squires finds room on the cut to the bucket. And a nice pass, and Squires with 5. Battled her way through injuries at Richmond, and now able to contribute here late in the season.
And she looks good out there.
And Richmond's up 5, 9 seconds and counting. Jump ball belongs in the Colonials' possession.
This has been a fast first quarter.
Now Siobhan Ryan will check in for Richmond here, replacing Kate Klimkowitz. Another one of the freshmen that Mary Russell brought in this season. Taiwo inside over Budnick. Whistle and a foul coming against Budnick, I believe. So that's the first on Budnick. Just the second on the Spiders this quarter, with 3.6 seconds to play in the first. Richmond up 18-13. With Taiwo's free throw off the front of the iron, she's just a 46.9% shooter. But in the last 6 games, she's got 8 points and 5.7 rebounds in that stretch, and that's a big reason why they've been 6-1 against Atlantic 10 teams when she's been able to play. Townsend from mid-court lets one fly, and that doesn't go, and we'll head to the break. A little bit earlier this evening, we saw St. Joseph's and UMass battle it out, with UMass picking up a 79-69 overtime win in the first session tonight. Big ball pressure by GW here defensively. Extending Richmond way out. Here is Parson. Over to Squires. Shot clock at 10 as Holt is freed on the perimeter, but the shot won't go. Squires there for a rebound and a stick back. And now George Washington gets it in the hands of Jasmine Whitney. Off on the far side, Blethyn. Pressured by Holt, back to Whitney here. And the shot clock at 10. Budnick knocks one away. Taiwo through the lane. Tough shot. Got tangled up with Claire Holt there and was off balance. Now Holt at the other end spots up a three and knocks it down. Holt shooting 25.7% behind the arc tonight, but now with 5. And it's 21-14 Richmond.
That was a good job in the quick transition to find Holt.
Well, Loader loses it as Holt takes off up the floor, stops, steps through. Enough English on that to spin it in. That's going to force a George Washington timeout for Jen Rosati here. We will take the timeout as well. So Claire Holt with 7, and the Spiders' lead is 9. In the last 6 games, they're 5-1, and opponents have shot just 35.4%. Right now, Richmond's 8 of 15 from the floor, 53.3%. From the corner, and a box out gets Holt the rebound off the missed shot.
And I would say it's safe to assume that Coach Rosati for George Washington took that timeout to reiterate the defensive play.
Budnick had her shot blocked, but Klimkowitz was there to clean it up. And Klimkowitz now with 4 in a 25-14 Richmond advantage here.
George Washington, a team that prides themselves on the hard-nosed defense, one of the top defenses in the conference, so wanting to step up defensively and not give Richmond so many open opportunities to knock down.
Essence Brown is back on the floor for George Washington, a sophomore from Galax, Virginia. Out front, here's Luma. And that shot from the corner by Whitney goes a little bit too far. Klimkowitz chases it down. Here comes Parson to the front court quickly for the Spiders. And draws the defensive attention of Whitney. Now Budnick pops out. Spiders moving the ball on the perimeter, forcing George Washington to react. Holt found open space, dribbled into the lane, they let her go, and Claire Holt now has a total of 9. And it's 27-14, the Richmond lead is 13.
Dancing through the defense on that last carry.
Well, it's almost as if as Kanaite takes one from the wing and knocks down a clutch three-pointer that was needed there. She's shooting 38.6% from 3 and hits a big one there. That makes it a 10-point Richmond advantage. Klimkowitz finds Chapman inside with a nice lob. Elena can't finish, and will get a third try and kicks it back out. It's deflected, though, and picked up by George Washington.
Walls on 3 sides to try to pull up there.
Wasn't a lot of room in there. As Perea came up with a loose ball. Neela Luma on the wing.
So that was a good defensive stop for the Colonials.
And that's what they've really been basing themselves off the last 6 games. Here's Luma. 5 to shoot. Works on Chapman. That's going to bring some contact and a foul on Chapman. And that'll be Elena's first foul for the Spiders. Parson and Holt take a seat as Carpenter's back in along with Townsend. And Taiwo waits to check in for George Washington. Free throw good there from Luma, 55.6%. You mentioned, Allison, that beginning of February, that week-long COVID pause for GW. Then they went 5-1 in those 6 games after that.
That was their second season.
That's right.
Out of the 3. We're in the 3rd season here for the Colonials. And I love that mentality, breaking it up, putting the past in the past, and moving forward.
Townsend got trapped on the baseline there and turned the ball over. And so the Richmond lead down to 9 as George Washington comes back to the offensive end.
There's been a lot of good ball movement for George Washington when they have possession. It's just breaking past the defense. It's been more of a struggle. Richmond really quick on their feet defensively.
That one off the mark. Brown got in good position for a rebound there. Hits Taiwo in the middle, who just steps right around Chapman, who will draw the foul. And Taiwo scores. Get a second chance to look at this.
Aggressive, keeps the handle, pulls up, waits to release. Now gets the bonus point.
On the free throw line, a little too strong, and the rebound to Squires. 7 points, though, for Taiwo here. And a 7-point Richmond lead. Squires made a fake and a move, is called for the travel, however, and Richmond will turn the ball over. And that is one thing that Aaron Russell will get a little rankled about. That's their 8th turnover already for Richmond here in the first half.
And talking to head coach Aaron Russell before this matchup, some of the keys to him were to limit the turnovers, just as you mentioned, to not give up offensive rebounds. They want to keep the pace fast, but really limiting the offensive rebounds for George Washington and limiting the turnovers were the 2 most important things in this matchup.
Whitney along the baseline. Whitney now with 5, and this is an 8-0 run for George Washington. That has cut the Richmond lead to 5. Budnick steps out for a 3. Klimkowitz, a strong rebound inside, and it does just enough to stay in. Klimkowitz with 6. Averaging 6.7 rebounds a game. And gives the Spiders a 7-point edge. Nick Kanayate has it, gives it off there to Taiwo underneath Budnick and scores.
Muscles it through.
All of a sudden, Taiwo has 9. Ball's loose, but picked up by Squires. Townsend had lost it. That's swatted away and picked up by GW. Now picking up the energy on the defensive end of the floor.
Here's Whitney with the ball. Whitney, an interesting story, transferred from Pitt, and after being a part of the program at George Washington for just 2 months, she was voted captain. So her teammates realizing the leadership that she has and what she provides to their team.
Well, long distance shot there, no good. Klimkowitz tracked down the rebound. And now Townsend with Parson at the scorer's table will go to work and turn it over again. She was already going to come out. Now at the other end, Townsend gets the ball back in the open floor here. Going to drive to the bucket, put one up in traffic, and got a shot blocked. And now Townsend really forcing things here. Parson was already waiting at the table to check in. And so those last couple of turnovers will cement that decision, it seems. Three minutes left in the first half. Nice pass across the lane. Taiwo goes, that shot's not going to be able to get off in time. It's an air ball anyway from Nika Kanaite there, and Taiwo scrambling to pick up that loose ball. Now Parson checks in for the Spiders as Townsend will take a seat.
That's one of the things about Richmond. They have a really nice spread of attack. They have a lot of different athletes who they can pull off the bench, who can come in and contribute, as we've seen with Emma Squires and a number of players.
Carpenter picked up by Luma. Carpenter drives anyway, can't get it to go, and then Budnick knocks the ball out of bounds. It'll be GW's possession. 2:35 to the half. Spiders lead is 5. But Richmond finding itself in a bit of a drought here. 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes and 38 seconds. And they haven't scored for 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Luma at the circle. Finds Perea now. And she'll travel. She wanted to pass it to Nika Kanate, and then as she went to pass, she turned back around and is guilty of the traveling violation.
Not happy with herself about that one. Thought she had her foot planted.
Parson on the perimeter now. Across to Squires.
High pressure defense.
Klimkowicz left alone in the corner for a three-pointer. And Klimkowicz with 9. 38.6% shooter, has made 44 threes this season. That is the most in the Atlantic 10 of made three-pointers. And it's a 32-24 lead for Richmond as a result. Brown with a strong carry down the right side of the lane. And Brown's first bucket of the game will make it 32-26, a 6-point Richmond advantage. Carpenter on the wing. Squires takes a 3 and hits it from long distance. Emma Squires now with 8 points in this first half.
And I love the game that Squires is playing with. She's been an impact on both sides of the court.
Baseline jumper rattles out. Kate Klimkowicz pulls down the rebound. And now Alex Parson, the senior from right here in the Richmond area, went to Monacan High School. Squires finds Klimkowicz open again, and you cannot leave her alone. That's now 12 for Klimkowicz here in the first half, and a 38-26 Richmond lead as the clock ticks on this second quarter.
One thing about Klimkowicz that head coach Aaron Russell will talk about is that there's so many intangibles when it comes to her play, who she is as an athlete off the court as well, such a hard worker, but a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Three-pointer on this side, no good. Good box out by Richmond. Here goes Parson with 18 seconds left. She holds up the charge and will try to go for the last shot here of the half. On the perimeter with the dribble, looking for help. Finds Squires, put it up, got fouled. Boy, Richmond's got the GW defense circling and moving a little bit more than GW might want to at this point.
Yeah, right now it's looking like the Colonials are kind of chasing the ball. Maybe sag back just a little bit because you're getting beat every time you're going 1v1 right now with the Spiders.
The Spiders are shooting 51.9%, 14 of 27, 6 of 9 from 3. And remember, George Washington in the last 6 games, the opponents had only been shooting 35.4%. Squires with a big first half, hits the first free throw, and now has 9. This is a player that came into Richmond. She's a junior now, with a lot of accolades and promise, has had a lot of injury problems. And all of a sudden here in these last few games, she's been able to contribute. Half-court heave, hits the rim from Whitney, but won't go down. And that will end the first half of this game. So they'll get the ball first to open the third. Work to Brigham. Remember, she had 2 fouls in the first half. Inside. Taiwo can't connect, tips it in the corner. We'll reset and start over with the clock here. Whitney on the perimeter. Luma fires from the circle and connects. Good possession there to get a bucket.
That's a good way for George Washington to start off this third quarter. First to get on the board.
Now Budnick squares up in the lane. Here goes Klimkowicz. Finds Budnick on the perimeter. That one may have been deflected by Luma, but no. Looks like it's just an air ball from Budnick there. And a bit of a change defensively already, it looks like, for GW picking up with a matchup there. Whitney will bring it up. Taiwo working on Klimkowitz there and gets the foul on Klimkowitz. And Maya Taiwo will go to the line. She's been a big part of this late season George Washington run, if you will, coming into today's game. They got that win over George Mason. Taiwo connects. And that gives her 10. Aaron Russell watching. Jen Rosati looking as well. Second shot no good, and Budnick the rebound. The rebounding battle, by the way, was decidedly Richmond's in the first half, 23-12. Here's Klimkowitz. Inside, Chapman finds Parson for a 3 attempt on the perimeter. And Budnick goes back out with the rebound. Holt fights her way into the paint. There goes Klimkowitz in traffic and is called for a charging foul in there. All right, so for Klimkowitz, that's foul number 2.
For George Washington, that's a defensive stop, something that'll help build that defensive momentum, that defensive belief after they kind of got broken down in that first half.
Now Whitney goes to the far side. Colonials moving that Spider defense. They set up in a zone for the moment. Luma at the high post. Back over here near side to Loader. 4 to shoot. As Whitney drives and hits that runner. Whitney now with 7.
Right on cue.
And it's a 9-point Richmond lead. It's George Washington trying to chip away here. And a foul called as Parson bounces off a defender. It's going to go against Loader. That'll be her first. And the first on GW this half. So they've cut the lead to 9. Holt finds Chapman in the far corner. Near side, Parson for 3 won't go. Budnick finds the rebound, though. And Klimkowitz on the wing can't connect.
Defensively, George Washington, they're trying to slide to where the ball is and then get a secondary defender in that help position. So a lot of the times you'll see them just chasing to the outsides, having 2 slide in sync. And that's kind of where they're getting beat if they're not, working together. It's easy to get beat by the Richmond offense, who's really dynamic.
Yeah, Holt forced that one a little bit, trying to shoot it around Taiwo there. So the lead is 9, and GW can cut it again here. Down to 10 to shoot here as the clock ticks. Luma working. Parson got a hand on the ball, but committed the personal foul in the process.
And then that last play, Lauder was just right on the near side, right at the 3-point line, and calling for the ball, but no one saw her. She was wide open for quite some time.
Nika Kanaiti checks in. And has the ball in the far corner now in front of her own bench. Luma at the circle. Swinging around eventually for the jumper. Chapman rebounds the Whitney miss. At the other end, a 3-pointer from Anaya Carpenter is good off of the Richmond bench. Carpenter shooting 28.6% behind the arc. Breaks the GW run to give Richmond a 12-point advantage again.
That's one of the things that makes the Spiders just so difficult to defend, is that they have so many weapons off the bench. You see from Anaya Carpenter, from Emma Squires, not the starting lineup, but coming in and contributing. And, you have to keep your eye on every single Spider athlete out there.
Too strong for Brigham, and Nika Kanaite knocks it out. You'll get a Squires substitution here for Richmond to replace Chapman. And now GW is back into its own drought, 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and they'll make some changes. Taiwo's in, Brigham's out. And Loader's taking a seat as well. Parson running the floor. Back out to Klimkowitz. Finds Squires for three from the corner. Too strong. And Luma's got the rebound. Richmond's shooting numbers now have down to 44.1% for the game, after being over 50% much of that first half.
George Washington playing a little bit of better defense here in the third quarter.
Taiwo fights for that rebound. They get it to Luma on the baseline. And Taiwo goes and gets another one.
Colonials all over the boards right now.
Well, they were out-rebounded significantly in the first half. They're trying to cut into that margin. 5 minutes to play here in the third. And counting. In the corner, the Brown jumper. And you've got a box-out issue with Budnick in there as Nika Kanaite comes up with the rebound. We'll get a timeout here. 4:51 left in the third. Richmond's lead is 12. George Washington trying to battle back. Lead down to 9. And that Carpenter 3 helped push it back to 12. Nika Kanaite flips it out front to Whitney. In the lane to Taiwo, and there's a whistle and a foul inside. Might go against Squires here of Richmond, which would be the first on Emma Squires. And Maiwa Taiwo to the line. Free throw is good, the first one. It's her 11 in the game. And she'll try one more time here. A little too strong with that one. And the rebound to Squires.
George Washington just looking a little bit more settled defensively than we saw earlier on in this matchup.
Spiders with that good ball movement, but
so fast.
They're a little bit tighter. Squires got into some trouble down in the paint and traveled. Couldn't keep her footing.
Good post up though by Taiwo.
Now Richmond's got a little bit of its own drought going here after that Carpenter 3, 2 minutes and 3 seconds without scoring. And now the Spiders will do what they did in the first half and put a little bit of that full court pickup on. Not really designed to turn you over, more to disrupt your offensive set. Brown into the lane. He has nowhere to go. Was in there for a long time, and the 3-second violation comes. Ryan checks in for Richmond. Carpenter out for the Spiders. Jen Rosati a little bit distraught with that possession. Now Richmond sees pressure against it now. Budnick finds Squires down the lane. Tough shot. Brigham picks up her third foul. And might have bailed Squires out a little bit there on that one.
For George Washington, they want to get Brigham involved in this matchup, but not in the foul category. They want to get her, you know, in the offense. The offense runs through her. She's a focal point, talking to head coach Jennifer Rosati.
Squires now with 11. And another shot coming up for Emma Squires. That shot's good as well. And it puts Richmond back up to a 13-point lead here now at 45-32. Shot from the wing, good for 2 there from Jasmine Whitney. That gives her 9. George Washington with the pressure. Here comes Ryan to the front court. Nice feed to Squires underneath, but ran out of room under there, and Taiwo the rebound. Push it ahead to Brown here. Taiwo down the lane, hard runner with contact, and a foul coming against Richmond. Going to send Taiwo back to the line with the block. Squire's second foul. Now Taiwo shooting 46.9% on the season from the line.
Taiwo with 5 rebounds, making the impact defensively and then transitioning nicely up the court.
11 points for her tonight with those 5 rebounds. 4 of 7 from the floor, but struggling from the line and can't hit either one. Klimkowitz has the rebound. Avoids the pressure of Whitney and gets the ball into the hands of Parson. Squires is open for 3 at the top of the key, measured it and put it in the bottom of the net, and Squires has 15. And another wide open Spider on the perimeter now for a 48-34 lead for Richmond.
There have been a number of those up to this point.
At the other end, Whitney's open for a moment. Inside Taiwo, back out to Whitney. Throws it out front. Taiwo makes the play. Whitney from the deep corner. And Ryan comes in, collides with Taiwo there, and Savon Ryan will pick up her first personal foul.
And that was better help and ball movement for George Washington with that possession. Not as clean and as crisp as you would want, but they're moving the ball more. They're trying to open up different opportunities inside the paint.
Taiwo connects on her 10th free throw of the game. That will give her 12. And now 13 as she'll make both. And Loomis checked back in. Grace Townsend's also in for Richmond. 2:30 left in the third.
I'm excited to watch Grace Townsend in the next couple of seasons. Just a freshman, but has so much speed, and she's someone that head coach Aaron Russell says, you know, you got to watch out. The track and field coaches might be looking for her as well. We're lucky she picked basketball, but she's an outstanding jumper.
Ryan for 3, can't connect, however. It rattled out. Boy, Ryan opened the season for Richmond on fire from 3, but shooting 23.1%. Getting that freshman season adjusted. And a whistle off the ball. Going to be a foul on Richmond. I think it may go against Ryan again. You mentioned Townsend. She was an outstanding, from right here in the Richmond area, from Midlothian at James River High School, an outstanding track participant in her high school days.
I believe she holds the long jump record at James River.
Free throw no good from Luma.
It's funny with Coach Russell talking about her. He's like, you got to watch out. I don't want her to leave the sport of basketball. She could have had offers for track and field at some of the elite programs. A lot of good speed and
good hustle by Taiwo to get that loose ball there. Holt comes up with one now. We're going to get a foul on George Washington there, trying to go after that loose ball. So it's Richmond's possession. 5 team fouls on the Spiders, and George Washington with 3. Third foul on Luma. Townsend on the wing. Finds Klimkowitz in the middle, and she's tied up. The jump ball stays with Richmond. Well, Klimkowitz had 12 first half points, hasn't scored yet this half.
Jennifer Rosati for George Washington, their head coach, saying we need to neutralize Kate Klimkowitz, and they didn't do a good job of that the first half, so making that adjustment in the halftime.
Squires in the middle. Underneath to Budnick. It's knocked away, but it's off Budnick's hands. And here comes Brigham back in, been on the bench with 3 fouls. Loader checks back in. 1:25 in the third, and still a lot of time in this one. Pointer from this left side, too strong. Squires pulls down a rebound off of the left and miss. Townsend into the front court quickly. Finds Holt on the sideline, down into Budnick. Goes to Klimkowitz out front.
Klimkowitz being just harassed every time she has possession by the George Washington defense.
GW a little more aware for this half. Townsend races through the lane, can't connect with a shot there. And the clock winding down on this third quarter. As Whitney matched up with Townsend here. Taiwo with a strong move through the lane, and now she's got 15 points. And GW back within 10.
Taiwo, just a redshirt sophomore.
Budnick is alone on the perimeter for a moment. Holt left open for three. And that'll end the quarter. So George Washington back within striking distance. As Richmond could not, George Washington 15 of 42, 35.7%, 2 of 14 from three. Richmond's 8 of 18 behind the arc. But George Washington is within 10. Inside to Brigham. And now Brigham drop-stepping, rolling, and firing one over the rim for two. Brigham now has a total of 4 in the game. See if she comes to life here in the fourth quarter. Now an 8-point Richmond advantage. Claire Holt out front, around the screen, into the lane. Spiders trying to move that GW defense. There goes the steal master Whitney to pick up a steal here. And George Washington can cut further into the lead. Far side, the loader. Taiwo against Squires, inside Brigham. And underneath she traveled.
That's frustrating for Allie Brigham.
Seem to be determined to get Brigham involved here now in this fourth quarter. Chapman will check in, and Addie Budnick will check out for Richmond. Parsons measuring. Parson looks inside to Chapman. Works on Brigham. Drop step. Couple drop steps. Missed. Got it back. Put it up. Won't go. And it's out of bounds to Richmond.
You're just seeing better defensive positioning throughout this entire matchup from start to current for the Colonials. Arms up, establishing their verticality, shutting down opportunities like that were a lot easier for Richmond to knock in quarter one.
Claire Holt finds her way into traffic. Goes to Squires, who will move along the baseline, and her pass is just thrown right to Taiwo, who did a good job to jump up and grab it. Quickly the other way for Whitney, and the lead down to 6.
Just steps right into that mid-range little jumper shot. Whitney's someone who is just completely irreplaceable.
Yeah, Roselle wants a timeout here. Takes it. On the floor, 16 of 41, 8 of 18 from 3 though. But George Washington getting the pace back and now creating a turnover and a chance to cut the lead further.
Colonials doing a better job at contesting the 50-50 balls, whether it be the rebounds or the loose balls, trying to get the steals.
That's a foul on Alex Parson there. Now Brigham checks back in for George Washington. As Taiwo will take a seat. Brigham with 4 points tonight, part of the all-rookie team. A corner three, won't go. Brigham gets the rebound, puts it up. Budnick got a block shot. And for Budnick, that's another block today. Carpenter works the perimeter. And a blocking foul called there against Whitney. That one probably could have gone either way. It's first foul on Whitney. And each team with one foul apiece in this quarter. Spiders not quite as effective with the cutting and the ball movement as they were in the first half. GW's made some good adjustments.
Exactly. You see that positioning just so much better with their angles and where they're positioning their feet.
Shot clock violation on Budnick's attempt, and the Spiders' percentage continues to fall. So George Washington getting it back down where they've had it in these last 6 games, in which the opponent shot 35.4%. Richmond's down to 39% now. Loader in the front court, side to side with Whitney.
George Washington being patient also when they have possession.
Chapman knocked it away, but Luma gets it back. Shot clock is at 3. And a last second heave here doesn't hit anything. It'll be a shot clock violation. Good defense by Richmond. George Washington got in a little bit of a pickle there as well. And Taiwo will check back in for the Colonials, replacing Luma here.
The defense from Richmond playing with high hands, you see that a lot of the times when George Washington has possession, it just seems like they have nowhere to go. They keep turning into their defenders. They're trying to push and pull. But getting the inside-out play, it's been more of a challenge as of late.
Here's Carpenter in the corner. Richmond's not getting all those open looks they got in the first half. Klimkowicz with 10, finds Carpenter. Back to Chapman for a 3 outside. Rattles out. Klimkowicz rebounds. Got it knocked away. Is trapped down low, and a jump ball. Richmond keeps it on the alternate possession arrow.
Defense warming for the Colonials.
Yeah, big adjustment for the Colonials defensively here.
It just seems like the timing is right now.
Spiders have been struggling to score here for the last few minutes. GW is also in a scoring drought. Both teams at 37 and 38.1%. And Taiwo deflects the pass out of bounds intended for the corner. Now here comes Squires in. Chapman out on the Richmond side. Where GW just 2 of 15 behind the arc today, and Richmond 8 of 18. Now Holt wanted to check in. The whistle blew, and Holt thought she'd gotten permission. Now she will get in. Carpenter will go out.
Having Squires back in, leading point scorer right now for the Spiders. 15 points to her name.
Holt trying to find somewhere to go. Finds Parson for a corner 3. No good. Holt tipped it, kept it alive, but Taiwo picks it up. Now, shooting threes is not something Parson has done a lot this year for Richmond. She's shooting at 30.8%, but is not shooting as many as she has shot in the past, but has been taking some shots here in these second half. They've been open, but not connecting. Tough play for Loader there, and that's a turnover.
Now GW again just struggling to get inside when they have possession.
George Washington's turned it over 12 times, 18 for Richmond. And Grace Townsend's back in. And Townsend will run the point. Hard screen set by Budnick, and it's going to bring about a personal foul. So Budnick guilty of the foul there. Nika Kanate wanted to check in. Now she'll check in. They wouldn't let her for a moment, but now she checks into the lineup. So it remains a 6-point Richmond lead with 5:39 left. But since GW has gotten this lead down, they're still on a bit of a scoring drought at 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Nika Kanate has also been really quiet. Athlete who has been averaging double figures in 3 of the last 4 games played.
On the wing, steps into a jump shot here and connects. She started 8 games this year and had double figures in 3 of the last 4. Now cuts the lead, and GW gets the ball back. 4-point game, 5 minutes to play. Jasmine Whitney has possession. Taiwo on the left side, inside, threw it right to Claire Holt. Tried to get it to Brigham. I don't know if she didn't see Holt or not, but Holt stepped right in front of it. So the Richmond lead is 4 as the clock ticks. Townsend weaving her way in traffic to Klimkowitz, who has not been able to get open in the second half. Finds Townsend on the near side, and the pass is knocked away by Taiwo. That will take us to a timeout as substitutions will be made, and we'll come back here with these final few minutes. We are back here for 4 minutes and counting, 4 minutes and 30-some seconds. Now the clock ticks down. Richmond with a 4-point lead. A Parson drive and a Brigham rebound as the GW defense continues to put its stamp on this second half. Richmond led a big margin at halftime. 40-26. Spiders have scored 8 points in the second half. None this quarter. Inside, Brigham underneath, trying to push Budnick out of the way and can't connect in tight. Now Parson to the front court, stops, free throw line, jumper no good.
That's where you just want to see Richmond settle down, get back to the basics.
Parson knocks the ball away in the backcourt here. Got it ahead the Loader to Brigham, leans in, Budnick blocks it, and a whistle and a foul on Budnick. It's the third now on Addie Budnick here. Actually the fourth.
And here for the Spiders, it just comes down to protecting the game. You had such a big lead. Now it's a 4-point lead. You're still in the lead, so don't give up on yourselves. Keep that momentum and keep that belief in yourself.
Brigham's free throw rimmed out. She's shooting 65.9%. It's a 4-point Richmond lead. Carpenter will check in if possible, so will Luma for George Washington. As Brigham makes the free throw, 5 points in the game here. There's Carpenter checking in. As Brigham sits for George Washington with Luma entering the game. So here comes Parson. Spiders have not gotten good looks the last few possessions. UW defense has had a lot to do with that. They rushed it a little bit last time. Klimkowitz has not scored in the second half. 12 points in the first half.
Spiders just looking for an opening, looking for a lane to get through inside.
Budnick in the paint, off the glass. Boy, that's a tough shot. And Budnick now has 8. That comes at an opportune time for Richmond to push the lead to 5. Cross court, Ikekanate will step into the lane, through the lane with a runner, and draws the foul. I mentioned she'd been averaging 14.3 points per game with double figures in 3 of the last 4. Has 7 so far tonight. Here's the Budnick basket a moment ago.
Just gets the right spin on it.
Free throws no good.
And the free throws have been a little daunting for George Washington in this matchup.
7 of 17.
That's a stat you just, as a head coach, you circle, you star, and you work on.
Another opportunity here. 1 out of 2, 50-46. The Spider lead is 4 as the clock ticks down in the fourth quarter. We've had a couple of overtime games already today. Parson inside, had it knocked away, and Parson trying to do a lot here in the last few minutes. Maybe a little too much. Coast to coast layup for Whitney. 13. Other end, Klimkowitz in traffic. Just threw that one up off balance. And Richmond again, another possession where they just haven't gotten good looks. 50-48. Coming up on 2 minutes left. The GW defense, every shot that Richmond's taken just about in this half has been contested. So you've got to give George Washington a lot of credit for that. And they have held Richmond to 10 points in the second half. Taiwo in, jump hook good, and we're tied.
Wow.
17 for Taiwo and a Richmond timeout. They'll take a 30-second timeout here. Now the Spiders have to regroup as contested here in the second half. And remember that George Washington had held its opponents to 35.4% shooting in the last 6 games. Fairholt looking. Hits Budnick out top. Klimkowitz hasn't scored this half. Backs out. Parson into the lane and drew some contact. No shot though. So a foul there. Aaron Rousseau frantically trying to get something out of his offense here. The foul's on Taiwo there. Holt will inbounds with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get it in somewhere. Finds Parson underneath. The pass deflected away. Saw Budnick there, but that lane closed quickly. And so now Claire Holt will try one more time here. Out front, Parson chased. Squires back to Klimkowitz. Covered up by Loader. You've got 6 to shoot here. Budnick to Parson. Got to fire quickly. Can't connect. Rebound is all GW, and they've got a chance to take the lead now in a 50-50 game with less than 45 seconds left. The Spider drought is 2 minutes and 8 seconds without scoring, but they've only had 2 points this quarter.
This is where you have to play composed and not rushed on both sides of the ball.
Shot clock's at 2. And Luma's shot off the rim. Rebound Squires. 19 seconds left. Are we heading for another overtime game here?
Well, this has been an exciting one down to the wire again.
No timeout for Richmond. Parson. 6 seconds. Parson dribbling out front. Squires. Holt from the corner. And we've got another overtime 50. George Washington.
Talking to head coach Aaron Rosal before this matchup, the head coach of Richmond, he said, you know, it doesn't feel like the end of the season is here. We're not drained. You know, it's interesting because you've had a shorter season with the postponements and the cancellations, that the team has more energy at this point. So you want to see them go all out, especially in this next 5 minutes.
George Washington's defensive effort in the second half. Can they continue that in overtime? Near steal by Whitney. Now a Parson three-point jumper, no good. Budnick follows, can't connect. Tip it, rebound George Washington. They'll get their chance at it now.
For the Colonials, again, they want to keep Richmond off the boards. They want to be able to pull down the defensive rebounds and not give the second chance opportunities to Richmond. That was a focus coming into this game.
Kate Klimkowitz has not scored this half for Richmond. Brigham against Chapman. Brigham can't connect. Klimkowitz gets a rebound. Alex Parsons 0 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3 in tonight's contest. Due for a bucket perhaps. Klimkowitz cross court to Holt. As Holt drives, there is a foul on Loader. Trying to cut her off.
Foul number 22, Maddie Loader. Second personal, 13th foul.
Well, Richmond won 47-42 and 60-49 in the two regular season meetings. And we're all even at 50. Here's Klimkowitz out front. Hasn't been able to get open this half. Budnick in the corner for a three, no good. And look at Tonight with a rebound. Now GW works that perimeter here.
Colonials just 2 of 16 from beyond the arc.
And that's one more there as Holt fights for the loose ball. Was trying to hold off Whitney. And a whistle and a foul against George Washington. As Nicotinite missed that free pointer there just a moment ago.
Three-pointer is a big force for head coach Jennifer Rosati, saying, hey, we've been making three-pointers all year long in practice. We just knock them in, no problem. We need to open up the floor and continue to find that success in game action, not just when it doesn't count in practice.
Holt got down there in the lane, and it's just nowhere for her to go, and Richmond turns it over again. It is the 22nd turnover on the Spiders in this game.
We're nearly halfway through this first overtime period, and no more points on the board.
And Richmond scored 10 points this half and in the overtime. That was a near walk, but the bucket's good for Taiwo. That's 19, and GW has their first lead in quite some time. Parson, cross court. Holt saves it. Kick it into the lane to Budnick. Can't connect in traffic. Chapman trying to keep control of it. And a foul is called inside. Thought for a moment we had a jump ball scenario. Jen Rosati's got her hands on her head over there.
Which brings us to the 5th team foul here for George Washington.
Squires is checked back in. She has 15 points, but remember, now Richmond has scored 8 points in the third, 2 points in the fourth, and so far none here in the overtime session. Chapman will go to the line, a 55.9% free throw shooter, and makes the first. That's her 4th point in this game. A second shot, got them both. Big shots. Chapman with 5 and a tie game at 52, 2:19 left. Back and forth into the front court. Whitney takes the ball across, gives to Brigham on the line. Back to Whitney.
Whitney, one of the captains.
Had it knocked away inside from Taiwo by Chapman. The shot clock was dwindling down for a GW attempt. Now Richmond back in a tie game, coming up into the front court with Townsend. Driving under, leaves it for Parson across and then back out front. Swing it over to Townsend. Baseline jumper, can't connect again. Taiwo the rebound. And Richmond can't buy a bucket right now. They're down to 32% shooting. First half, they shot over 50%.
Give credit to the George Washington defense.
Yeah, that's exactly every shot except for the last couple here have been contested. Klimkowitz drops in and steals a pass. Open floor, but not the numbers, and that's going to be a walk. For the 23rd Richmond turnover here, and a timeout will be taken. 1:07 left in this game. Tied at 52 in the overtime. And we'll decide it here in a few minutes. Shot over 50% in the first half. Richmond's down to 31.5% from the floor. GW with the basketball. We're all even at 52 here.
1 minute.
Whitney holds out front. Nicotinite on the wing. Drives to the mid-post. Fed Brigham inside. Put it up over Squires and scores. Brigham now with 7. 54-52. Townsend finds Squires along the baseline for her leaner. Good, and a whistle. Squires with 17 here.
Great movement, too, by Squires. Once she received the ball, worked right inside. She didn't hesitate. Check this out. Well, first basket there by Brigham, and then Squires again just stepping into it so confidently, drawing the foul. Chance here to take the lead.
Tied at 54. Squires' free throw is good. And Squires has 18, and a timeout will be taken here.
She's outside, she's at the line.
Yeah,
you give her a chance.
Season high for her with 18 points and in minutes played as well. Previous high was 24. She's at 27 today. Look at Tenite on the wing. Inside Brigham. Defense drops down on Brigham. Pass across is stolen by Parson. Ahead to Klimkowitz, who may get her first basket of the half with a breakaway layup. And a timeout taken. Jen Rosati's beside her. Something they have not done well so far tonight, as they are 2 of 17 behind the arc.
We'll see what they drew up in their huddle right now.
Brigham inside, kicks it out top. Whitney back to Nicotinite. Parson covers her up. Brigham had it knocked away and stolen by Klimkowitz, and she's fouled as she tries to dribble out, and the Spiders may snatch one away. Snatching victory here from the jaws of defeat.
A team that had a 14-point lead heading into halftime, starting to make their way back here in the first overtime. Klimkowitz stealing the ball away to keep it in possession of Richmond.
And we mentioned earlier her 32 steals, 5th in the Atlantic 10 in that category. Native of Oakton, Virginia. Transferred from Boston College. It's been a shot in the arm for the Richmond program since her arrival. At the line, 74.1% shooter, a chance here. With 10.3 seconds left. Missed the first one. 57-54. One timeout left for George Washington.
You have to think Coach Jennifer Rosati will call it right after this free throw if she wants to use it.
That makes it a 4-point game, and indeed the timeout will be taken now. So Klimkowitz with 15. Well, we've seen 2 games tonight so far, Allison, that have just will inbound on the near side. Taiwo is in the corner here. Get it quickly to Whitney. 3 from the side, no good. Rebound tip, back up, no good. Klimkowitz pulls down the rebound at the end, and that will seal it for Richmond.